Ice Cube like that.
Through. And I think
talking about me. And for the life of me, sir, I don't know why you keep bringing my name up and acting like there's some beef between me and you. I wasn't even mentioning you. After that video I made in the kitchen, I ain't say nothing else about you. So there's no reason for you to keep talking about me, sir. No, it ain't no beef. No, I don't need to talk to you. It ain't nothing. Just go back to doing what you're doing. Go back to doing what I'm doing. That's it. You won't stand on my goddamn shoulder. No, sir. I won't let no condescending motherfucker like you stand on my shoulder. No, sir. But, it's late. I'm tired. This is my first time being online this late. I respect. I salute y'all. We in the building. Boy, we people in the building, boy. No wonder these jokers keep watching these views and everything. Boy, the people is in the building. Yes, sir. We the people that been speaking. And y'all gonna dissect this video. Y'all gonna make some more videos. Y'all gonna give you reactions. Add some clips in of Dr. Boyce saying the shit that he's been saying. And, you know, y'all have fun with it. Since you want to talk, let's everybody talk. So, I told y'all, it's easy to expose the go along, get along game. You don't have to do much. I'm not calling myself, quicksand is not this big old aggressive, rough and tough thing. Quicksand, just sit alone and sit on down and just let you do the work. Dr. Boyce, you did the work. Thank you. Thank you, kindly. Thank you for everybody who hit that super chat. Cash out. And thank y'all for being here. I almost want to sing on this motherfucking mic with this shit. Look, I wish I was a singer or a rapper. I go ahead and do what I do for y'all. But I'm tired. So I hope y'all can start seeing these snakes. These people are everywhere. They're your bosses, they're your co-workers, they're your neighbors. Hey, we gotta wake up, people. Gotta wake up. So, love y'all. Good night. I'm going
to. This video is going to be on about Dr. Boyce. Part of the video you just heard was part of Kwame, the ex-NBA player. Now this is another one, and they've been going in on this man. I'm about to listen to this other video. This is Minister Jack. He's going in on Dr. Boyce Watkins. And I'm going to give my commentary after this. But you ain't. All I gotta say, shit, let Kwame alone, man. The guy warns you, leave him alone, Dr. Boyce. Leave the man alone. And
church, check in.
he's kind of Boyce making up his own mouth, condescending his own words.
Oh man, goddamn. Hey man, how y'all feeling, man? You got the your extended weekend. You know,
Sorry about the background.
Memorial Day. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna serve Manosphere. We gonna serve the brothers today. Dig? How y'all feeling, man? Hey, man. You know, you.
Yeah, man, I just listened to that video about Dr. Boyce, man. He's been really, maybe going at him left and right these last couple of weeks because he's been saying something about, single black mothers and why men are banning single black mothers, and it was some other things. But they've been going at him, boy. Seeing that how much a simp he is, and and this is, I think this is what this video leading to.
Hold the hell. He keeps doubling down. You know, it's like, fam.
I mean, I like it when the boys have on like someone like Claude Anderson and he's really something that's good to stick with economics. But he should stick with economics. Leave the personal stuff up out of it. Because people are roasting him right now.
I'm riding, listening to the radio, and guess what the fuck comes on? Boys to men, I'm doing just fine. Boys to men comes on, I'm doing just fine. I said, God, I gotta do it. I can't not do it now. You know what I'm saying? Boys to men, I'm doing just fine, explains this whole situation. It explains how Boyce should have handled this situation. If you guys get a chance, because, they playing with the copyrights and all this old fuck shit. But if you guys get a chance, I want you to listen to that song with perspective. And the perspective of that song is, woman plays you back in the day, then you get the hey big head text. See, a lot of y'all don't know how to ignore the hey big head call and the hey big head text. See, the hey big head is basically, you know what I'm saying, since a motherfucker knows you personally, they can call you up and they can get personal. It's not like a motherfucker just call you say hello. This is a person from back in the days. You know what I'm saying? It's like for instance, like say if you're a famous rapper, then it's all the motherfuckers that want to call you Clarence, because your real name's Clarence. You know what I'm saying? You know?
What's that? Must be the internet.
some damn Brown, you know?
There it is.
But everybody want to call you, hey, Clarence, because they know you. So that's what the hey big head takes. The hey big head takes and the hey big head call comes from exes. And it's all in how you handle it. We're going to be real about this. Most of these situations with brothers dating, most of you guys get left. We got to keep it a buck. Now, there are cases where we do leave bitches. I've talked about that. Usually when we have to leave a bitch, she turns crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because bitches expect to get done. Dudes do. That's why dudes are always on their toe. You know what I'm saying? We're dealing with chicks. But for the most part, you know what I'm saying, you can pretty much assume that the chick left. Now, I always had this rule. Your exes call back because they know your dumb ass gonna answer. They call back, and brothers, let that be a lesson to you, too. Let that be a lesson to you, because a lot of y'all be like, I can't, you let these hoes talk, I can't control who called my phone, Rodney. Bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you don't change your number, there's a block button. These niggas call these hoes because they know that you gonna answer, and these hoes call your simp ass because they know you've been waiting for that phone call your whole life, motherfucker. And the problem that I'm finding is I don't think we're busy enough. I think this is an insult for the brothers that's actually out here getting it, that get shit. And understand that these hoes are a fucking setback. But for you to always be available, it says a lot about you. I understand Facebook and shit like that. Okay, fine. Can't stop motherfuckers from inboxing you on Facebook. Okay, that's fine. But to always be available, to always never have something going on when her shit goes wrong is a disservice to you, and it's an insult. You gotta understand that this is disrespect. Disrespect, and you simps are the forefront. You Boyce Watkins, you Derek Jacksons, you Umar Johnsons, you Brother Police. You allow these women the opportunity to play good men with the option of always falling back on them. Interesting day. I'm gonna tell you how everything lined up. Interesting day. Saw that call from my other dog. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we was talking and we was talking about the whole story because you know we talk about the shows and stuff like that. And what was crazy is, you know, we was talking about the old situation that he had. Now we have elevated far greater than when we were 17, 16, 18, 19 and shit like that. But they were girls that we wanted back then in their prime who played to the left. Now, like I always tell you, I love the fact that life kicks hoes in the ass. And God kicks them in the pussy. Life kicks them in the ass. God kicks them in the pussy.
Dang.
God kicks them in the pussy. So, we was talking about a situation, you know, and all of us have leveled up completely. Let's say the woman's name was Lisa, alright? Brother was working at a shoe store. This bitch was fine. We all remember her back then. This motherfucker was light-skinned, some of the biggest hips you ever seen with a small waist, mixed with long hair. Louisiana, so you know she was a motherfucking freak. But that's neither here or there. This is the time where the bad bitches didn't want our skinny long neck. You know, we was little niggas back then, skinny long neck. This was cute niggas, skinny to the motherfucker, long necks with big t-shirts. Bitches couldn't see the vision back then. But they was fucking with the drug dealer, pulling up in Lexuses, Benzes, Beamers. We over here smelling like shoes and White Castle burgers and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to grind, man. Trying to find out what.
Yes.
These bitches, you know, capitalize on their looks in the best years of their life. Let's go back to Lisa with my mans. She gets pregnant by a rapper, local rapper in the city, right? He gets a record deal, gets dropped from a label. Out here in the streets, hustling, whatever, has its baby. She's still gorgeous, though, with baby. Babies can still hold it together, for the most part. New nigga comes in. Some of you niggas, you lose your mind. All that pale, big booty and long hair, you're gonna nut. And what happens? New nigga nuts all up in her and marries her. Now we're in our mid-30s. She's got teenagers and toddlers in a shitty marriage. She's separated. Guess who she called? Fans from my homeboy. You know, a nigga who was digging on her in the past, who she passed up on, who's now leveled up. Man's got his paper right, riding slick. Niggas get shape, you know what I'm saying? Niggas are unmarried without kids. So she reaches out. She still got it together, still looking good. Still got that fat ass. That ass ain't going nowhere. Hello. Now, she comes back with the hey, big hey, what's going on? But my man's plays it different. See, he comes through, you know, he kicks it with it. They go out for
Ooh, it's getting pretty interesting with Mr. Jap. His choice of words. Yeah, something going on. I don't know if it's with the internet or with my. Yeah, man. You know, my commentary on Dr. Boyce is, you know, he's a very intelligent man. I like when him and Dr. Claude Anderson talks about economics, but he just needs to kind of stay in his lane as far as that. And when he's doing podcasts and interviews, from what I hear, you know, he has to really think about the words that comes out of his mouth. He's another one that need to really, because Kwame, the guy they've been talking about, you know, the guy asked him to leave him alone, you know. He said, give him his respect, and said, leave him alone, you know. But Dr. Boyce keep commenting on me because, you know, Kwame has a really big following of people. So Kwame took his own words and you know, in his own platform to roast, to show the people what he really is. He's causing his own self-destruction. His own, good thing, just stay at certain things when it comes to something like that. With him and Charlemagne. Him and Charlemagne, it just, man, when you jump between Charlemagne and Kwame about that was a no-no. And Boyce has also said some other things, and I don't know, till the video kind of cut out about, a couple other ones. One was Minister Japp, and his other individual, Coach Adams, was talking about when he was making something about putting guilt on men about, single women with children or whatever. And, he got roasted on that. And he's being exposed from one end to the other. And, well, but, he's hitting from one point to the other. I just think he just stay doing economics and how to improve. But Dr. Boyce, he gets into these other things, and having the platform that he is, man, it's just that he's exposing himself, and just need to kind of like do what he do, especially or teach about economics and stay on economics. Because it's really not looking good, man. It's especially when a man, and the one comment he made about, what Kwame was saying, that Boyce was talking about him, saying that all of a sudden he got this big following. Kwame had a big following because there were people that watched sports knew who Kwame Brown was. They knew who he was. So he got this. So he trying to make it seem like he all of a sudden he had his following. I believe Kwame already had a following. But what caused Kwame probably to get online is because people kept on defaming his name and attacking his family. So he he just went at him. He said, okay. And so to get back at that, he went on a bigger platform such as YouTube and probably Facebook, in other words, and exposing what these other people are doing. And so, hey, I don't blame him, man. But Boyce when he kind of stepped in things, now he's using his own words against him. He's using his own words, and Kwame had his phone was showing it. How contradictory he says. He's one minute he's this way, then the next minute he's this way. He's like, make up your mind. And he just telling me, leave me alone. But every time when he got his foot in his mouth about it, and when he put his name up on podcasts and stuff, and he's trying to ride both ends, and Kwame's not having it. He said, you're not going to be fake and phony around him. He's the kind of dude, he's going to call you out. And he called him out, basically. I think Dr. Boyce should just stay doing what he did with Dr. Claude Anderson, and do all this other stuff.
She's mad that he's using condoms. Like I tell you with most of these black bitches. I think the brother used 2 condoms, and he pulled out with the rubber on. Even went as far as to still give her a plan B. Listen, we died laughing about this shit, right? And you know what happened? The bitch got hella offended. She said, I feel like a piece of meat. I feel like you make me feel so dirty. He was like, I ain't trying to have no baby. She was like, but I told you I'm not going to get pregnant. It's like, I know parts of that situation. He didn't want any parts of that situation. You got 2 kids, you're separated, it's raggedy, and you passed up on me back in the days. What are you talking about? You want to be with me? What are you talking about? We always should have been together. What are you talking about? That's how you're supposed to play that shit. When you get the hey big head text, Boyce, you idiot. That's how you play that shit. We have got to start teaching women a fucking lesson. So, because if we don't teach them a lesson, they won't be able to teach the next batch of women, because women listen to women more than they listen to men. And the fact that he taught her that fucking lesson, she can teach the next young woman that motherfucking valuable lesson. Oh, man. So, and another thing that was interesting. So, I get a phone call, you know, I got a really interesting life. It's an adventure. I really wish I could have, like a camera crew around me. It'd be like a reality show. Get a phone call from my brother Simple the P. Shout out to Simple the P. If y'all not subscribed to Simple the P, make sure you go subscribe to Simple the P right now. Chi-Town's own real nigga championship game, nigga. So we over here, you know, chopping it up, you know what I'm saying, talking about hoes that, you know what I'm saying, flirt with both of us and shit like that. Just, you know, just talking amongst men, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, he was telling me, that, you know, about high value men, and, how he felt that we were wrong. And, you know, after talking, you know what I'm saying, we discovered that this high value man thing is wrong. And it kind of hurt me, because I was like, damn, Kevin Samuels was wrong, y'all. Kevin Samuels was wrong. The Godfather was wrong about the high value man concept, y'all. And it fucked me up. Me and Sin just told him, like, I'm fucked up, because I'm like, damn. You know, the concept of the high value men, that these women cannot, these women who fuck up their lives, you know, they come through overweight, old kids. They are not going to get a high value man. And what me and Sin discovered is that that's not true. And what disproves the high value man theory is Boyce Watkins. see, Uncle Kev wasn't factoring in that there are actually high value men that are this goddamn gullible that would sacrifice all and everything that they've done and select the fucking leftovers of another man. See, Uncle Kev was thinking that you niggas was smarter. You know what I'm saying? He was thinking that you niggas are smarter than you actually are. He didn't factor in that it's a bunch of big dummies. We didn't factor in the simps. We have got to factor in the simps. Like Sin always tell me, hey man, lay off the tricks. Lay off the tricks, because we gotta have tricks in the world. Because it's a
sorry, turn this down. I'm gonna play another video talk about Dr. Boyce Watkins. Watch this.
I'm gonna explain to you why you
If I know this person, oh shit,
Warren
Dick
Buffett
Jackson.
says. See, here's the thing. Warren Buffett is worth $80 billion.
And then we come
he
back to
uses
Mr.
investment
Jack.
strategies only for the richest of the rich. Strategies that you need millions or billions of dollars to use.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shane Dude Jackson. episode
And,
of
you know,
The Celebrity Jump.
so I'm calling kids on your
I got worried about Dr. Boyce Watkins and this particular subject that we're dealing with today from a good brother, Keith, who sent me a lot of videos and things like that. And I even told Keith that I wasn't going to leave Dr. Boyce alone. I wasn't going to bother him anymore about the subject, but Dr. Boyce Watkins is a man that keeps throwing fire on the burning bush. He keeps throwing gasoline, rather. He keeps igniting. He's the guy that's stirring the hornet's nest on social media. So since he wants some attention, I'm going to give it to him, okay? Boyce Watkins has married a lady by the name of Dr. Alicia, who has a few children, so he's officially now a married man and a stepfather, which, you know, I believe is cool if you want to do that for yourself. When you want to shame other people into doing that with you, especially black men that don't have children or black men in general, then that's when you're going to get a response from me. And Dr. Boyce does this because he posts a video of a young lady and another guy who they do not like Kevin Samuels because of his stance on single mothers, okay? So Boyce posted this, and I'm going to go ahead and play the clip, and then we're going to come back and then we're going to talk about some of the comments, and then we'll come back. Go ahead and play that clip, Ken.
To see the value in each other, the true value. Kevin Samuels is somebody that's very popular right now. I think it's one of the worst things for our culture. Because,
I will second that. Okay.
yeah, because it does nothing but tear us apart. You marginalize the single mothers. So therefore now you are perpetuating the cycle of a single mother because you have men who can come in and be a good, what they call it, Joseph, a good stepfather, as they say is Joseph, to help, to create the family unit. But what he's done is he's made single mothers such a distasteful thing that men don't even want to come in and create a unit with a woman that already has a kid. There are so many men who have said that, one, he has changed their perspective on dating. There are men who now call themselves high value men because they have a place to live, a car to drive, and a job. And no kids.
Alright, so you see what he has to say, okay? And, you know, I got an email from a brother, and the brother was saying that he was getting a lot of pushback from black men and some black women. And I'm going to just talk about the clip before we go into the actual post screenshots there, okay?
Look, did you know there was a government-funded education grant deposit up to $38,070 directly into your bank account?
So he's getting roasted from making a comment about single black men and single mothers. I guess it comes down to the choice of if you decide you want to go that route, or any man that want to go that route. But with the guilt shame of other men not marrying single mothers, that's not cool at all. That should be a choice. I'm gonna give you. In fact, I'm gonna stop the video right here. And let me give you a little story. The reason why some men are reluctant, and I've seen this, and I know a friend of mine that I had a friend of mine years ago experienced this, is because when it comes to raising another man's child, that can be a problem. Because if the child's getting out of order, she is disciplined in a certain way, and if you play that child's father, that case in the case. Is this a case with a friend of mine? He had everything going for himself. He married this woman. He didn't have no kids of his own, and he's a good guy. Had his father worked at General Motors and had his own business. And what happened was he married a woman with 2 single kids. But this woman that he married, man, he basically pulled her out of poverty. that she was living in one of them Section 8 housing. And trying to be a black man, be a good black man. And I have another friend that did the same thing. And the only thing with this one, what she did was, she caused him to get in some mess, caused him to go to jail. He never had a criminal record. He's about to. She made some faulty accusations, say that the neighbor was making moves on her, was harassing her. So he's about to go threaten the dude. She made it about something like that. And the most damaging thing, because she had a boy and a girl, that she did after my friend supported her, for her and her children. The next thing she did, the most low down rotten thing that any woman can do, a sneaky connect that some women have, and accused him of touching her daughter, which there was later on come to find out there was no evidence, and come to find out that his own mother, before she passed away, and she told me that told me the story that she basically set him up, and he lost his job, lost his career, had what they call those child predator things, so you can't go next to the door. Messed his whole record up. He had everything going for himself. I have a friend of mine that his wife, he got to kind of get her to, see if he can help him with, with the household and stuff. He wanted, because he goes to work 40, 50, 60 hours. He's holding the household. He's doing everything a man should do. He raised her stepson before they had 2 kids together. And she don't want to get up and do her part as the wife. She's trying to control him, and he's not the kind of man he's going to be controlled, because he's just an alpha male. And so just recently he told me a situation where they're about to get, he got hurt on his job, so he's been out of work for a little while. So he's been trying to find work in where he used to live at. So his wife told him, because finally he's been going across different parts of Northeast Ohio trying to find work and across the country. So he gets to get the job. This is recently. His wife gets mad because the job is out of town. Now she ain't paying no bills. She barely even cook for him. Everything is something go wrong, she got to call him. Everything. I mean, certain things that as a woman, as a wife, that you should do. He has to call. I mean, sometimes, most time, and I believe this, you got to get him up and cook and clean. This is what he's doing, and he's watching his autistic son, because that's just what they had a child with. So I see where this conversation is going, and then before he met her, his oldest son's dad tried to get back in the picture because he wanted just some sex and that's it. He didn't want nothing to really do with the child. So he never seen his son. The son's doing well. His oldest son's, he's in the Air Force now. He's out there in Alaska, and but yeah, and it's some in the stories like that. Then my friend's brother, he didn't have no children. He married a woman with children, and she gave him some hell. He had, and I mean, it's just been like back and forth, back and forth. So, conclude with this video, this is why they call him Boyce Watkins a simp. They say, no, you should just overlook that and blah, blah, blah. But just like women got to be wary, men got to be wary about some things too when you date a woman with single children. And if she's okay with that. And so that's why some men are starting to say, oh, forget this stuff. it's like, now, and I mean, in some cases, but people like Boyce, they don't seem to understand that. But I'm gonna let you get back to the video. But this is my commentary about it. I'll go back to what O'Shea said.
This sister that you saw is the problem in the black community, and that brother there too. Okay? The sister is mad because Kevin Samuels doesn't want black men to date single mothers. Okay? Now the lady is saying that, well, Kevin Samuels is keeping black men from getting with single mothers, helping to parent them away or raise these kids. But see, that's the problem. What do these black men get in return for that? I can tell you what they get. They get nothing. Okay? Let me just tell you this. Recently, I've started a Fidelity investment account. Once I got my business straightened out and some things financially straightened out for myself, and I have invested quite heavily in what I'm doing, I decided to get my Fidelity account going. I talked to Alpha Male Strategies. He uses Vanguard, but I already had an account with Fidelity, and so I started heavily investing in my retirement with some mutual funds, index funds. Okay. And literally, now that I have been doing this for a few months, I've been seeing my money in the first few months grow like crazy. I talk to Black Excellent all the time. I've always kind of looked at stocks a little bit, but never really understood them fully. But I've always been interested in finance. And I can tell you that if you are a man that puts your money into just index funds, stable stocks, you will see a return. If you are a man and you put your money into women, into people's kids, you will lose all of your wealth. Because you need to be worried about taking care of people, taking care of yourself, and not other people's problems. See, this is why black men are so poor today. Because they have babies by somebody else.
If you have an enlarged prostate, you must see this. The renowned urologist, Dr. Philip Ulrich,
And expect you to take care of them. When you're broke down and you have nothing, they won't take care of you. All you'll get is a thank you. I will tell you, don't worry about them. Invest in your goddamn self. And see, as a financial expert, that's what Boyce Watkins should be telling men. He don't want to do that because he wants you men to be a sucker. He don't want you to have financial education about your own money because your money is your money. And if a woman wants to be with you, then she needs to be able to respect you enough to come into the situation without any liabilities, financial liabilities. And children are financial liabilities if they are not yours usually, almost all the time. That financial liability belongs to the father that she had the baby with. And it's not the war on single black mothers. It's the war on black men's resources. You know? And Boyce Watkins don't have no problem with black men spending their money. And you want to know why our community is so poor? Because so many of our brothers out here are spending money on things that don't belong to them instead of developing their own business and their own life. Okay? I want you to see how some of these sisters, okay? Look at this brother says this here real quick, okay? He comments to Boyce Watkins, "Dang music! I don't think it's a war against black mothers. Kids just make it harder to get a quality man. Just like it make it hard for a man with a criminal record." He's right. Here comes Boyce Watkins' sentiments. "Yeah, I can see that. Kids are definitely another variable to consider for sure." Well, then stop the show. Then why are you supporting it then? "But I can say I've met high value men with kids, and as long as the situation is manageable, it can be rewarding." Rewarding how? Stop the show. How is it rewarding with you giving money and taking care of people's children that are not yours? Usually. Financially, it leaves men in many problems. Same music! But I guess it's like a guy having no job. He can get female attention, but it won't be the same as if he were financially secure. Does it matter? He'll be more financially secure if he's not taking care of somebody else's kids and investing in himself. Okay? The other guy goes, "If you have to lie to prove your point, you don't have a point."
I'm gonna explain to you why you shouldn't listen to a single thing Warren Buffett says. See, here's the thing.
Okay? So even you have women here, okay? Look at this. Day music! So instead of us telling women stop having kids out of wedlock, we would rather shame the men for not picking baby mothers for wives. This is so sad. We have normalized dysfunction in our community. I'm gonna just leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there. Because no other community tells their men, deal with the women who have kids by everybody else. Nobody does that. I'm not saying that you don't have good single mothers out there, or that women can't, overcome a mistake. Sure, that's possible. What I'm saying is, what is definitely possible is that you're going to be spending money on children that are not yours, and financially, that wrecks black men. Black men have to invest. I'm gonna tell you what if you're gonna be invest. Invest in Fidelity. Invest in Vanguard. Invest in Pocket Watching with JT, who's a financial counselor, and I'll be dealing with him. Okay, soon. You better be investing in Charles Schwab, M1 Finance. Watch your money grow. Stop giving money to women and their children. They ain't yours. Put it into investments. If you're going to give your money to somebody, give it to a mutual fund manager. And especially when you can see the rate of return of what you get when you invest your money in REITs, okay? In real estate, in bonds and stuff. You see the rates of return on average. What return do you get if you give your money to women and their children? Zero. If they yours. Financially, it doesn't make sense. And we need to tell guys, and it don't make sense. So when you're mad at Kevin Samuels for telling guys the truth is, if guys are more financially secure and they raise their standards, then guess what? Women are going to have to say, you know what? I'm not going to marry a man. I'm not going to get kids by a man who won't marry me. I'm not going to expect to take somebody else's kids and have somebody else raise them. That's entitlement. That means that you feel that you should be able to do whatever you want to do and that this guy should pay for it. It's not fair to that guy. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Jackson.
And that's exactly what happened to
another
two
episode
from my
of
friends.
The Celebrity Drunk.
That's exactly what happened.
For all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. Check out the first comment in the dot.
So right now, and it's just that it's been tensions at times, and he's trying to, I know I shouldn't talk about people's lives, but it seems like she don't have a wifely duty to, it's like, hey, stand by your man, stop trying to fight against what he's trying to do, and he's trying to get you out of poverty. And because my friend believed in, like, hey, he said, if I don't feel like I'm not working, I feel less than a man. And she's trying to tell me to take low wage jobs. It's like, they got a house and they got a couple car payments. You can't take so he's trying to go for the $17 to $20 hour job, where at the time where you get most of the jobs you out there is like $10-11 an hour. You can't do that when you have a full house. But this is something that some women who are single mothers, they don't, some of them, not everybody, but they don't seem to understand. They don't seem to care.
Loved one that
And,
you actually found useful, be sure to pop by our.
But I just want, I wanted to point that out in his video, and he's right. You can invest in yourself, because now he's trying to come back out of poverty. And he said, and he asked me, if you work with me, we can get another job. We can bulk our finances a little bit. She didn't want to get another job, so he had to go and get, kind of work a job with a little bit more pay, so it can balance it up as a married couple. She didn't want to do that. She wanted to stay at a part-time job watching some kids. he's got to go out there, and then she got nerve to get mad because he's trying to bring in a higher income so it can be able to make the necessary bills, the house note, the car notes, and all the utilities and everything in between, the insurance and everything. And it's like, he said, I just don't understand. And I'm like, man. And it's been going on since they've been married for 20 years. Single mother with children. And it seemed like some women just don't appreciate when God gives you a man. Who's in that capability, and they just mess it up. They mess it up. They mess it up big time. And that's what I see. They don't appreciate men. They don't. And it's a shame. It really is. So you got instead of saying, hey, because every time when something goes wrong with the child, she was calling about work every day. What's you got to get home and do this. He said, you can't be calling me at my job every day. And she would do stuff like that. My friend John. And then with my friend Jamie, with his wife calls him to go to prison over some false accusation. So being a friend, dating single women, it kind of made me kind of look like, dang, like with children, like acting like at a different pace. Like, you gotta be careful, because that child, if that child don't like you, they can say something like you touched them, and your whole thing is gone, and it's your word against their word. So that's something to think about, your freedom. So, and it's your word against their word. If it comes out it's false. Now, some people do, there's some people that do molest children, that's true. But, but if you're not a molester, somebody could be vindictive and say that you did. And next thing you know, your whole world will turn around. I'm just saying, that's reason, and that's another thing that men have to think about when they marry another woman with children. See, that's just that's another aspect of it too. So, hopefully if you do meet a woman with a child that it be decent, you click. And sometimes, in some cases, it does work out. Somebody be a stepmother. Some cases it does. But overall, it's not cool. But yeah, so that's my comment on this one. But hope you I'm gonna get back to the video. But yeah, Boyce Watkins really need to sit down and really think about some of the things he said when he makes statements, and watching on different commentary about Kwame Brown to the men so-called. You really need to really think about when you go on broadcasts and stuff. You need to really think what he says. Just the same thing I would say the same thing about Umar Johnson. They really need to, really hear, because and then there's someone on their platform showing you that you're talking out of, you're condescending yourself. You talk and saying one thing, but you're going another way. So I'm just saying, that would be my advice. Really sit down and think, and really for Boyce, he just needs to stick with what he knows, what his profession is. Because the reality part of it, trying to be reality and be all up in the celebrities' business and this and commentary on this and that and other, you're only hurting yourself. Stay focused on things that center around economics. Don't go off into we're talking about these celebrities and what these ex-athletes, what they're doing, because it ain't your platform. And then, and one thing they say, and you need to take his own advice is basically was when you have people that employ where you get boys, you need to kind of start paying people their money. Because if you got a half a dozen people saying that they put, on your channel and commentary, you degrade, you need to kind of back up what you say. Because there's too many people that say that. That's why they kind of, some people you don't see no more. And some of them haven't raised the question, but some of them have, but you kind of need to, if you're going to employ people in the future, make sure you pay them their money. So, other than that, he has a good commentary, and I like it when, like I said, he brings on Dr. Claude and stuff, but he just need to stick in that area, stop going that podcast talking about different people like Kwame and different individuals. Leave them alone, man. Stay on one thing, and you will get the views that you do, and you don't have to go out there and clout chase different individuals. I'm just saying, but that'd be my advice. But right now, as far as Boyce Watkins, you're not looking good out here in the main man sector to make suggestions like that. I'm just saying. On your James, till next time, y'all take care. And as it going, what you see is what you get out here on these streets. Have a good one.